What's going on, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to the podcast. This is a big show today. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but first and foremost, make sure to hit that bell, subscribe, like, share with your family and friends, everybody that you know, just everybody. Just share with the whole world. Anybody you know, help me out. Just walk on the street and just be like, bro, I don't know if you know this guy, just subscribe to him. First thing we're going to be talking about today is the KSI and Logan Paul fight. Last year, KSI and Logan Paul fought, but they had a lot of flack for saying that it was staged. Because people were saying it was staged, and the reason being was because it ended with a tie. It was a huge match, and it pretty much raked in so much money. They sold out the whole entire arena in Manchester. It was absolutely ridiculous, and it ended with a tie. Now, a lot of people had a problem with that, and the reason why is because the fight, A, was with headgear, and B, they looked both very inexperienced. They both looked like they were lazy, and it ended with a tie. The whole thing the press conference was better than the fight, in my personal opinion. The press conference was way better than the actual fight itself. So that was a huge thing to me. What's next? Number 2. What is different about this fight than the last fight? All right. Well, the first thing is Logan Paul and KSI are not using headgear anymore. This is a professional boxing match. They both went pro, and the reason being is because they do not want headgear. This was a huge thing that was said last fight, and people were saying that headgear should be taken off. It should be much more, raw, and that's what they're doing. So honestly, I kind of like that. They're doing it for the fans. They're making it much more suspenseful, and I can't wait to see Logan or KSI get bashed with no headgear on. That's awesome. I think that that's a real boxing match, and I can't wait to see where this goes, because this is what's considered a real boxing match. Okay, that is what I consider a real boxing match. No headgear, and they're not using it. This fight is confirmed now. It is confirmed. It's going to finally take place, and it's in a couple of months, but it is confirmed, and that's the best part about the whole thing. Both Logan Paul and KSI are now pro, and they're doing this for real. So this is real. And to me, this is just absolutely crazy, because this seems much more crazy this time. If it's a tie again, then I'm going to throw my TV across the room. So it better not be a tie. It better not be a tie. Logan Paul, honestly, dude, the guy can fight. He's huge, too. He's like 6'1", 6'2". I'm only 5'9", so that's huge to me. But, yeah, 6'2", that's a big guy. And, he's got a lot of muscle on him. And I've seen his training videos, and he knows the basics of boxing much more than I expected. I didn't expect him to know the basics of boxing that well. KSI, on the other hand, is also a renowned, I guess, YouTube fighter. I don't want to say well-renowned boxer, because that's kind of like not only an insult to boxers, but also kind of an insult to KSI, because he hasn't really put that much effort into boxing as much as, other boxers. It just seems like to be a side gig, because he's a YouTuber, an actor, a rapper, a boxer. So boxing is just one of 4 of the things that he does. So I don't want to call him a well-renowned boxer, but he's a guy with more experience in boxing than Logan Paul. Way more experience. He's had way more fights. He's had way more training, and he specifies in boxing. See, the thing is that Logan Paul, dude's an athlete, and he wrestled for so long. But KSI's focused for the last couple of years, mainly last year, on boxing, and he's really been boxing a lot. So with that being said, I wish them both luck, and I am for sure watching it. I don't care what anybody says, dude. I can't even believe that they're actually fighting without headgear, and this is a professional boxing match. Man, these YouTubers have really upped the game of fame. They're doing things that Hollywood stars aren't even doing. They're so unashamed of the things they're doing as well. I think that's what has really intrigued me about YouTubers, is how unashamed they are about the things they're doing. You know, KSI and Logan Paul, they have no problem stating like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight in a professional fight, and that's it. You know, they have no problem saying that, and I think that's. I don't know. I don't want to say I think that's cool, but I think that that takes a lot of confidence because that's a different kind of fame. So yeah, it's a different kind of fame, and they're playing on it pretty well. They have a lot of self-esteem to be doing this. They have a lot of courage to be doing this at their caliber. People take it as a joke, but these guys are selling out arenas. These guys are straight up selling out arenas, like mad respect, dude. These guys are like 22, 23, and they're selling out arenas in Manchester, making millions of dollars as pro boxers, and they started out as YouTubers. This is the most unconventional fight in the world. I completely agree, and I think it's crazy, but you got to admit, you know, I put respect where respect is needs to be put, and respect for these two guys. I am honestly voting for KSI. I'm not gonna lie, because KSI is a great fighter. He's the better fighter strategically, and you know, the only thing I would say Logan Paul has on him is reach. KSI has more experience, more training, better strategy, and, you know, just experience. He's been in the ring like 9 times. Logan Paul's been in the ring once, and even when he was in the ring, it was with headgear. So, you know, it ended with a tie, but I mean, I hope Logan Paul pulls it out. I'm not going to bring up personal stuff. I'm not going to say I want Logan Paul to lose because I hate the Paul brothers or something. You know, I'm talking straight strategy right now. KSI seems like the better fighter. KSI seems like it seems like KSI could win just because of experience and strategy. So we'll see, though. Mad respect to the both of them in this fight. Mad respect to both of them in this fight. You got to separate personal things from actual things, and this brings me to my next topic: Dave Chappelle's Netflix special. Dave Chappelle came out with a Netflix special about a few days ago, and everyone's up in arms, and this is literally bait. Literally, like, this was the biggest fish bait that Dave Chappelle has ever made, and everybody fell for it. Everybody fell for it. Dave Chappelle just caught the biggest fish. Okay, I'm going to stop with the fish analogy. The biggest thing Dave Chappelle wanted, the literal comedy special is called Sticks and Stones. At one point, I watched a special, very short, by the way. It's like 55 minutes with, if you take out the introduction and the conclusion, it's like 55 minutes. Less than an hour, sitting there watching it, and midway through, I'm like, is this guy even saying jokes anymore? Or is he just trying his best to get into every single news media outlet as like somebody who's canceled? I think he was trying his best to get canceled. He even called the thing Sticks and Stones. The whole motive of this comedy special was to offend as many people as possible, and it worked. It literally worked. Every single thing he wanted to do in this comedy special was exactly as it intended to be, and everybody fell for it. I cannot believe the amount of uproar that's going on with the special. This was his intention. It was literally his intention to try and offend as many people as possible, and I find it very funny, actually, that people are up in arms, because if anything, the only way to kind of not take the bait that Dave Chappelle so easily threw to everybody, especially media outlets, was to not say anything, because he wants a response from you guys, and he got it. Does this prove Dave's point? Yes, it does. It 100% proves Dave Chappelle's points. He literally came out with a special called Sticks and Stones, and every single joke was as offensive as possible to the modern culture. He tried his best to offend so many people. And he even blamed the audience at one point. He said, you guys are the reason why I don't do comedy specials anymore, because I can't say anything without getting crucified. And I guarantee you, after this special, I'm going to get crucified. He even said that. And, you know, like he predicted, it happened. It literally happened like he predicted. I mean, it doesn't get more like I don't know how to explain it, but it just doesn't get better than that. It doesn't match it. Nothing matches this. It's like he painted a picture, and the result ended up exactly how we expected. It ended up exactly how we expected. I cannot believe that people are even in uproar about this. People just don't understand. People don't understand that this was Dave Chappelle's whole purpose of this whole entire thing, man. He called his special sticks and stones, dude. What do you expect? He called his special sticks and stones. He's literally hinting that, like, dude, I'm trying to offend all of you because I hate how offended you all get. That's literally what he's saying. He's stating, I just hate how offended you guys get, so I'm going to try my best right now. That's his title. That's what his title means. And he did it. It worked. You know, it was your basic race jokes, LGBTQ jokes, women jokes. It was a lot of, you know, those just 3 jokes. And, you know, talked about Jussie Smollett, and he said, like, Juicy Smollett or something. And it was well crafted. It was very funny. And I love Dave Chappelle. He's a great comedian. I watched all of his specials like 2-3 years ago. But this looked like more of a bait kind of comedy special than others. You know, this seemed like he was gunning for some heads right now with this one. It really was. He was trying his best to offend people, and he did. And he talked about Kevin Hart and his tweets. And it's like, dude, I don't understand. I didn't understand halfway through. I was like, dude, this doesn't even seem like the Dave Chappelle I know. It kind of seems like a guy that's trying his best to get canceled. And I feel like that's kind of what he was out to do. He was gunning to just rile up a lot of controversy. And he succeeded. So, once again, mad respect to you, David Chappelle, Jussie Smollett, David Chappelle. So, dude, I'm sorry, but you put a microphone in my face, you put me in a quiet room, I'm going to start talking like a weirdo. It's just going to happen. You subscribe, not me. Speaking of Kevin Hart, he got in a huge car accident. I'm from Philly, so, you know, it's crazy to see somebody else from Philly, you know. I don't really know where I was going with this, but he got a car for his birthday. Don't really know the specific car. Completely ran off the highway in an accident, and pretty much he suffered severe back injuries. And, you know, he's good now, but he suffered very, very, very tragic injuries, and they are taking a toll on his body. He is still in the hospital, but he's recovering, and I think that's crazy, dude. I think it's crazy because, like, it's just a typical, like, nature versus nurture kind of thing. Like, nurture being you're really rich, you worked for your money, and all of it can go away like that. Just one mistake like that. This reminds me of, like, Ryan Dunn, Paul Walker, just, like, you know, Caitlyn Jenner even. Just all this stuff of, like, people. It's a sense of mortality. It's crazy. It's like a sense of mortality that, like, no matter how rich, no matter how famous you are, it can all just vanish like that in 1 second. And it's just that sense of mortality always sticks with you. And I think that it's scary almost. It's scary because you forget that you're mortal, you know? You have like $1 million in your bank account, you're like a famous comedian, you think nothing can stop you, and all of a sudden you get in a huge car accident like this. It's like you, at one point, you kind of forget you're a mortal human being, and that kind of like messes with you a little bit, you know? Anyway, that's the topics today. I got KSI in the fight. Dave Chappelle's Netflix special was succeeded in what it was intended to do, and big rip, Kevin Hart. Prayers out to you and your back, and I hope you get better, bro. So, repping Philly, bro. You know, I just love celebrities who are from Philly. I love them. You know, Will Smith, Meek, and Kevin Hart are 3 of the biggest ones. Sylvester Stallone. All these people. I mean, Sly's from New York, but you know he's known in Philly a lot. But he's from New York originally. But just all these people, man, that like make it big. It's crazy to know that like I live in this city, and everybody, there's so many people that are from this very city that made it. And that's just crazy to think about. Like, it shows how possible things are, you know. I don't really want to be a big movie star, but I hope this podcast takes off. I hope this becomes like Joe Rogan's podcast. And to think that, like, oh my God, you know, these people went from Philly to that, it gives me hope, you know. Oh, I'm from the same city these guys were, so I can make it, you know. I had a subscriber of mine last video ask about college, so tomorrow I might dedicate a whole video about college, because I talked about it briefly like 3 videos ago. So I'm going to talk about the do's and don'ts of college. I graduated from Penn State with a bachelor's of science in healthcare administration and a minor in nutrition. I did 2 analyst internships, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I just graduated a month ago, and I am job searching currently. I am working a part-time job right now, but I got out of college debt-free. That's a big factor. And right now I'm just applying to a bunch of corporate analyst jobs in big cities like New York, Boston, Chicago, Philly. I'm applying to a bunch of cities right now. So, you know, good money in my bank right now, decent money, not really that bad. You know, finally started the podcast, and now I'm job searching. But the do's and don'ts of the degrees, that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, actually. Catching up from this week's, I missed Sunday and Tuesday, so this is like subbing Tuesday's episode, and tomorrow we're going to do one. So, like, comment, share, and subscribe, everybody. This is, like, I love this podcast. I'm really starting to grow in front of the camera. I don't know if you guys ever watched my first video, but I was so shy in front of the camera. I couldn't even talk. I was so shy. It took me like a month just to put the camera down and actually press record. I thought about it for a month, and I was just getting so antsy. Now I just love how ready and prepared I am to continue to do this podcast. So, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and share it. Share it with your family and friends. Put it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I don't know. Just share it. You know what I'm saying. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a good one. Peace out.